Did you just watch what we just witnessed? The courtroom didn't just break the order. It also ruined the internet. Cameron, cocky as ever, literally laughed out loud in court. While Jim Jones' own son stunned the entire room by publicly with Chrissy, yes Chrissy. The same Chrissy Mama Jones swore was the ruin of the entire Dipset lineage. Woman, at the core of leaked USB drives, courthouse slaps and whispered betrayals. And now, Jimmy's son has reversed the narrative like a VH1 reunion gone radioactive. So what does Cameron know that has him grinning like he just watched? Why is Jim Jones sitting in stunned silence at the end of a soap drama he covertly produced? His bloodline supports the one lady his family pledged to ruin, and most importantly, what new tape, text, or treachery is going to leak? Next, because believe us, this isn't just courtroom turmoil. This is a dynasty disintegrating in real time, and the camera rolling, buckle up. Because what just transpired inside that courthouse isn't just history, but reality TV treason. Let's dig in. Imagine hardwood flooring, a stenographer tapping feverishly, and the sound of heels. But this wasn't just any day. In court, no sir, this was the day Harlem's hip-hop elite split wide open. Why? Because Cameron showed their with a smile. Jim Jones' son stood up for Chrissy as if it were prom night and she had just been crowned queen. We already know that the courthouse has been the centerpiece of a Dipset catastrophe movie since Mama Jones went full WWE and pumped Chrissy across the face. We witnessed Chrissy pull out that weird USB stick like it was her last Uno card. Cameron was leaking leaks like mixtapes. And Mama Jones was launching products with a slap. But this new development, yeah baby, it's a narrative surprise nobody saw coming because Jim Jones' son, let's call him Junior for now, was supposed to be the neutral party. The next-gen successor to Harlem's hip-hop legacy. The one who'd remain out of the mess, but today, he marched into the courtroom, head held high, and informed the judge on record that Chrissy had been the only real one in the room the entire time. And Cam sat back, arms crossed, smiled not once. Smirk a full-on, I knew this was coming and I brought snacks grin, let's break this down. According to our source, Junior, sitting 2 rows behind the defense bench, sought to make a voluntary statement during the pre-trial hearing. The judge, already over the circus, gave a reluctant nod, and that's when Junior stood up. Turned to the chamber. I'm not going to keep watching everyone destroy the only person who has ever supported my father. Gasps, audible gasps. One reporter dropped her pen. Mama Jones reportedly remarked, he's brainwashed. Chrissy did not flinch, just inclined her head, as if she knew what was coming. Keep in mind that this is the same courtroom where tape accuses Chrissy of being a double agent leaking information from within the family. The same courtroom where Mama Jones nearly threw hands in the courtroom when we believed Chrissy was cornered. So why would Jim's own son grab insiders? Said Junior and Chrissy had been covertly talking for weeks running up to the trial. Not about reconciliation or public relations damage, but about protection. According to one leaked message supposedly screenshotted from a burner WhatsApp conversation, Junior warned Chrissy that Mama is going to try to bury you with lies. That right there are proof of internal treachery, the kind that flips a family disagreement into a full-fledged civil war. And if that wasn't messy enough, there are more courtroom filings filed only days before the hearing. It was revealed that Junior had demanded access to the contents of Chrissy's USB drive rather than to defend. Junior was aware that the tapes were soon to be made public. Shake Harlem. And he needed to know which side of the explosion he wanted to be on. Turns out, Chrissy had receipts. The USB has audio notes from Mama Jones proposing phony property deals using Jim's name and camera footage of her handing out cash-filled envelopes to known Dipset contacts and brace yourself messaging threads that hint Cameron knew the slap was coming and instructed Chrissy to bring evidence. Yes, you heard that right. There is speculation now. Cameron and Chrissy were not adversaries, but silent accomplices in a long scam to expose Mama Jones. Junior is managing Jim's business like some demented matriarch in a hip-hop version of Game of Thrones. Finally selecting sides during his courtroom appearance, Junior also stated that he overheard his grandmother, Mama Jones, mind you, working with a VH1 producer to reverse the storyline and present Chrissy as unstable. They had planned to distribute modified footage and rehabilitate Mama's reputation, while turning Chrissy into a villain. The judge allegedly stunned. The room was silent, save for Cameron, who let out a loud sarcastic wow. Crazy world huh, even Thigh Biff cracked a smile. Now let's talk reactions, because the internet did what it always does. Erupt. Hashtag Team Chrissy started trending again. Twitter users posted clips of Junior and Chrissy from old episodes of Love and Hip Hop. Claimed he always looked at her as a second mom. Memes filled Instagram. One popular video showed Cameron nodding in court, overlay with the message when you knew the tapes were heat, and brought popcorn instead of a lawyer. Not everyone was laughing. A prominent Mama Jones fan and former Dipset manager posted a now-deleted tirade on Facebook, calls Junior a traitor to the throne, and accuses Chrissy of manipulating a youngster who does now what true loyalty looks like. That rant screenshot, reposted, dragged because fans are split, and war lines are now. Here's where things get even uglier. After court recess for lunch, Junior was spotted walking out. Chrissy, not Jim, not his team, not even neutral, with Chrissy side by side. One camera captured her whispering, "Fans are still trying to liper it like it's the Zapruder film. You did. Well, in the meantime, Mama Jones stormed out the back door, allegedly saying into her phone, 'Tell them it's fake. All of it, she's playing y'all.' Even TMZ couldn't keep up." A spokeswoman for Jim Jones finally issued a confusing statement to the press claiming Jimmy's focus is on peace, not petty. He loves his family and wants the drama to stop. Jimmy is shivering in his Timberlands because if his kid is siding with Chrissy, Cameron is cracking. Mama Jones is losing control of the Dipset narrative in court, and the family enterprise is disintegrating. Inside out, and Chrissy, she's not crying anymore. She's winning softly, strategically, and in heels. But hold up, we're not even close to the last twist, because just as court reconvened, the judge called everyone back into session. A new file was presented into evidence. A file that Chrissy didn't bring. A file that wasn't part of the USB. According to our sources, it came directly from Cameron's legal team. Jim Jones leaned forward, locked eyes with the judge, and delivered the one sentence that changed everything. The entire courtroom into a human pressure cooker. Gasps, audible gasps, even the stenographer ceased her typing second. One of the baifs coughed as if choking on his own spit. It was the kind of event that transforms a courtroom into viral TikTok in seconds. Mama Jones, you could just see the steam rising off her hairdo. She grasped her pearls literally and muttered something so vicious that the woman sitting next to her switched seats. Now let's pause, because if you've been following this Harlem soap opera from the beginning, you know Jim's son has publicly taken a stand and has remained impartial, invisible, and conveniently out of frame whenever family trouble has occurred. Headlines, but now he's front and center in a courtroom, defending the very woman his grandmother believed was a traitor. Let's break down what just transpired. According to court transcripts released within minutes, Jim's son backed Chrissy and accused Mama Jones of arranging a smear. He said Chrissy was the one trying to safeguard Jim from financial disaster caused by lawsuits and others inside the family, funneling money through false LLCs. He didn't name anyone, but he didn't have to. The room turned toward Mama Jones like a scene from Clue, while Cameron sat in the back row like he was in box seat at a Broadway play, snickering. The man pulled out a bag of peanut M&Ms, placed one in his mouth, and gave the most irritating "well damn" that anyone has ever heard in a legal situation. Let's remember, Cam's leaked tapes provoked the entire courtroom breakdown, and now he's watching them unravel like a villain in a Tyler Perry finale. Is this petty? Yes. Is it strategic? Absolutely. Because long after giving his statement, guess who passed a manila envelope over the defense table? Chrissy Sis came prepared. Just like Olivia Pope with receipts, the judge urged her to elaborate. And Chrissy stood cool and calculated, saying, "I've kept my tongue closed for years to protect this family, but since the court is confused about who's betraying who, let's make it And boom, out came the receipts, emails, banking records, bank transfers. Mama Jones allegedly established a side company using Jim's likeness, name and trademark without his permission. Here's the kicker. It was all connected back to a New Jersey warehouse that had already made news during a 2019 downturn. Affiliate raid. Remember that article about phantom contracts and unregistered real estate ventures? Yeah, same building. Chrissy didn't just come with documents. She also provided an audio sample. If you thought the courtroom was intense before, but you weren't prepared for what followed next. The audio played over the courtroom speaker. A mixtape premiere apparently captured a phone call between Mama Jones and a renowned Harlem fixer. On the clip, a person says, "If Chrissy keeps digging, bury her and make it public." Now, listen, we are not sure if the voice was really Mama Jones, but the room acted like it was. People gasped so hard you'd think Beyoncé had came in. one woman fainted. The judge called a 10-minute recess. Cameron stood up, clapped once, and murmured, "Plot twist." Meanwhile, social media was already melting. Hashtag Chrissy and Zard started trending on Twitter. TikTok detectives began voice matching the leaked audio against old reality show clips, and one genius created a detailed breakdown using waveform. Investigation concluded, "Yep, that's Mama Jones." The respiratory pattern remains the same accent, same energy, and while all this was going on, where was Jim Jones? No appearance, no comment, just a solitary Instagram story of a candle burning with the caption, "Pray for the truth." Cryptic, gloomy, pointless. Back in court, Mama Jones' lawyer requested that the tape be rejected since it was unconfirmed, but the prosecution was not having it. They wanted a probe into the contents of Chrissy's USB device. And the judge agreed. A complete forensic review was ordered. Here's where things really heat up. A group of Chrissy supporters began assembling at the courthouse with homemade placards, t-shirts with her face on them, and personalized foam fingers that stated #one daughter-in-law. You can't make this up across the street. Mama Jones fans, older, louder, armed with foldable chairs and laminated brochures about family betrayal. The two sides clashed like the Versus. War dot of the decade, police had to erect up barricades. And somewhere, in the confusion, someone played Cameron's old disc recording. Harlem was lighted via a megaphone. And the drama inside that courthouse had only just began. Jim's son wasn't finished talking. He pulled out a handwritten letter, reportedly from Jim Jones himself, dated 2 weeks before the original. "I don't know who to trust anymore. Chrissy might be my sole anchor in this madness. Tell my mother to quit acting like everything is under his authority." You could hear a pin drop. Mama Jones began squirming. Chrissy merely slumped back in her rings, as if she were about to chuck them. Her legal team murmured hurriedly, chair arms crossed, serene as a cucumber marinated in revenge. Cameron now chewing gummy worms. The judge finally had enough. He declared that because too excessive public interest, potential criminal consequences, and social media turmoil, the case would now require closed-door sessions. Cameras, cell phones, and even the court sketch were confiscated. The artist was booted out, but it was too late. The world had already heard the story. Within hours, the whole transcript of Jim's son's statement leaked, followed by bootleg audio of the courtroom clip released on Telegram, YouTube, and whatever dodgy Discord server the internet could discover. Reaction videos were coming in. Hashtags were everywhere. Chrissy and Team Mama Jones memes were flying quicker than Nicki and Cardi subs on Twitter. By nightfall, Cameron dropped it in Instagram post, black background, white writing. "I told y'all, loyalty above legacy, no description, no tags, just vibes and chaos." Chrissy went live for exactly 24 seconds without makeup or filters, just looking direct into the camera and stating to keep the data and the silence. "But I'm not going to keep taking the blame." And then as she logged out, someone claiming to be a former Dipset tour manager began distributing what they dubbed the Chrissy Chronicles, is a series of charges about money mismanagement, manufactured conflicts, and silence. Money dating back to 2013 doesn't matter if it's real or not. People are gobbling it up like hot wings. Cyclone. The question on everyone's mind now is whether Jim's son is siding with Chrissy. And Jim's own statements suggest that he doesn't trust Mama Jones, who actually oversees the Jones legacy. And with court now closed down, the next bombshell has to come from outside, because if there's one thing Harlem has taught us, it's that secrets don't remain buried. Especially Chrissy was still carrying more files, and guess what? That USB wasn't even the only one. Late that night, Harlem was still debating in Instagram comments, and YouTubers were live filming themselves reading court-like bedtime stories. Another anonymous Twitter account dropped something that made the entire internet stop scrolling a second. USB, or rather leaked contents, from what's now being nicknamed the shadow drive. This one, method work. We're talking clandestine recordings of private discussions between Jim Jones and Mona Scott, emails suggesting VH1 producers were creating tales to show Chrissy as unhinged. And brace yourselves for an alleged contract where Mama Jones was offered a consulting producer credit in exchange for pushing Chrissy out of the franchise. Yes, you read it. According to the leak, Mama Jones was part of a stealthy movement to remove Chrissy from every future Love and Hip, and it didn't stop at TV. Emails suggested it blacklisting her from brand partnerships, cutting her out of Dipset-related merchandise lines, and even sabotage her real estate investments. This wasn't just a rivalry, full-blown assassination of a woman's career. And the worst thing was that the receipts were too good to ignore. Already examining font types, metadata, and timestamps like they were in a courtroom version of CSI, took attorneys. We were stitching the documents and dissecting them down frame by frame. One girl even uploaded a PowerPoint presentation, named The Fall of the Jones Dynasty, Betrayal in 3 Acts. And in the thick of all this, Cameron is still laughing. Posted another video from Dubai. This time laying in an infinity pool, sipping orange juice and saying some of you genuinely thought Chrissy was the culprit. You owed that woman an apology. Meanwhile, VH1 was in complete panic mode. Internal sources stated that emergency meetings were being convened to discuss damage control. Akandi's letter was purportedly sent to Twitter, but too late. The files were already copied, downloaded, and inserted in 50 separate threads, private group chats and YouTube videos with titles like, Chrissy's Revenge Mama Jones Exposed. But let's get back to Chrissy. While the internet was fighting on which side to take, Sis was already planning her next move at precisely 8:30 a.m. The next morning, a verified Instagram account labeled as Chrissy Official PR released a statement that sent jaws to the floor. There has always been the distinction between loyalty and silence. I chose silence, believing that the truth would protect itself. But now you can hear it, loud and clear, with a 3iNet voice. A message supposedly written by Jim Jones himself. You can hear a man's voice, eerily like Jim venting to someone. Tone describes how his mother turned the entire crew against Chrissy, how Cam he knew more than he should have, and he felt like he was losing control. The Dipset legacy to a group of angry old heads with personal objectives. The audio was not perfectly clear, but fans were already scrutinizing. Every breath was like a Grammy-won TikTok user claimed. You could hear Mona's voice faintly in the background reads, "We need fresh blood." Chrissy's story is tiresome. It didn't matter if it was true or not. The public believed it. Changed the entire attitude overnight. Because suddenly, the same folks they were dragging Chrissy 2 weeks ago are calling her the Harlem Harriet. People thought she was the Tubman of reality television. Released herself from the constraints of shoddy contracts, familial manipulation, character assassination, even Cardi beat-weeded, but if Chrissy held it down through it all, and brought, she deserves her own program. Period. Now let's chat about Fallout Mama Jones. After days of petty and mysterious Facebook posts, subtweets went radio silent. Not a selfie. No wig review. Not even a repost. Meme, and that's when they realized something significant was going to drop. Or she was in hiding. Hospital records were leaked, and a paper surfaced reportedly depicting Mama Jones had been checked into a private Manhattan facility for hypertensive stress trauma just days after the courtroom slap. Some fans expressed sympathy. Others did not hold back. One viral tweet, "It's funny that she was strong enough to slap Chrissy, but she's too fragile when the receipts struck brutal." But Jim's son, they doubled down. Inside a surprise clubhouse, he explained that the room maxed out in 3 minutes. Fans, you only witnessed half the story. 2 was raised to protect my family. Yet I've got to defend you too. Christy has been holding my dad down while others are nearby. They were feasting off his name. Like locusts, the room fell silent, because here's what it wasn't. Only one son is siding with his stepmother. There was a generational shift in loyalty, rejecting manipulation and public assertion that sometimes the truth comes from the person. Everyone tried to. Jim Jones eventually broke the silence. The quiet in the breakfast club of all sitting across from Charlemagne. Jim, who appeared fatigued but controlled, said, "I adore my mother, always will. But something should not have happened. Some things got exposed, and I ain't ready to discuss yet. But Chrissy, I didn't deserve all that." It wasn't much. However, it was sufficient to influence public opinion. Opinion.com. The storm. Dare we suggest set the stage for rebuilding. Rebuilding the Dipset legacy. Family.